How big is that?
That's an 80.
It's an 80.
So I got my bedroom. 42 is in my bedroom on the wall. I went with that. LED, just so it has the lights from the windows. It's in my bedroom. He's right there. Hi, Coach.
It's on their way, so.
There she is right there.
Ready?
Here comes the green light.
And here you saw the runner.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay, Sunday is National Girl and Women in Sports Day, Girl Scout Day. Noon tip on Fox Sports South.
Well, big challenge ahead of us on Sunday. LSU's one of the better teams in the country and certainly one of the better teams in our conference, and a lot of talented players, well coached, and they'll be a tough opponent. So we'll have to practice real hard this afternoon and try to practice well the next couple days and see if we can get a win on Sunday afternoon.
Could you give us an update on Bernicia and kind of where you go with her?
Well, Bernicia had an episode in practice on Wednesday evening before we left for Georgia, and so she went into the hospital for several hours Wednesday night and got checked out and was doing better yesterday morning, and we are waiting for her to get checked out today, and we'll see where she is. But she's until the doctors clear her for action, she'll be sort of day to day. But we think she can bounce back from it and get back going.
You said before you left for Georgia, you've had a lot of people asking you, what's the problem, what's going on, what's going wrong. Now that you've had yet another setback, have you sort of got any closer to putting your finger on it?
Well, I think when we're really successful, we have all of our players playing pretty consistently, pretty consistent effort-wise, and right now we're just way too inconsistent. So you had some players that played well last night, played hard, but it was hard to get five on the floor, that we're all playing together. And so that's no one's fault but mine. I have to find a way to get that consistency going. The players, it just has to mean something to you to go in and take care of your individual responsibility and how that plays into all of our success. And, it is a really fine line between playing your heart out for each other and, being sort of a half step behind on 4 or 5 possessions in a game, and these games that are so close and so tight, they end up making a big difference. And unless we can find a way to really, really be humble here and take full responsibility for how important it is for each individual to show up and be very consistent throughout the game effort-wise, we'll struggle. And I really feel a great responsibility. It's my job to try to get that through to the team and see if we can get to play more consistent basketball. Because I think one thing now is people are kind of saying, "Hey, we're in a tough spot, and I just want it to be over, and I'm just hoping that it ends," and not understanding we're all fully participating in this. And the reason we lost last night was because Georgia made more plays than we did. It's well within our control to make plays, and we just have to find a way to get that done.
They've had players-only meetings. There have been group team bonding things. They've run the stadium steps. I mean, are there other things that can be done to kind of make it happen, I guess?
Yeah, I think that it's me waking up every day, looking at the practice film, looking at the game film, and just exhausting every avenue that I have available to me. And, it's just a tough one to solve right now, but we have to solve it, and we can. And it's one thing that we do know is that we have the talent to get it done. And so we just have to stay with it. But we'll just continue doing some of those things. You just can't say that none of that's having any effect. There are things that we can do better that I think are correctable from last night. We shot the ball 30% on the road, got out-rebounded by 7, lost by 2. So you just can't let that get to a spot where all is lost. You have to really stay emotionally strong here and look at the facts and deal with the facts and get it back going. So, the time for discouragement does not exist. We don't have time for it. We have to just stay with it and have a good plan at practice today and deal with what you can deal with. And that's today's practice and understanding what needs to happen for us to be successful today.
In your mind, is the biggest problem offense or defense? It's the lack of responsibility that we're taking, and sometimes it manifests itself on offense, sometimes it's on defense. But it's just, one game we'll have a player, then the next game we won't have a player, and then one possession we'll have a player, and then the next possession she'll take it off, and that's where I see the biggest problem right now. It's just the lack of consistency. What I said earlier.
You kind of built this program around effort and 40 minutes of intensity, and all of a sudden that's kind of what you're looking for now is that 40 minutes. Do the personalities of this year's team match the style of play you want to play?
Well, we don't right now. We don't right now, but they have at times this year. So, I just don't know that it's really about personalities. I think it's about individuals. And let me say this. I think that everybody's kind of dealing with it differently. Some people tighten up and don't perform. Some people blow it off, because they don't want to step into the spotlight and perform, and they want somebody else to do it. It's all those different things going on with 13 different people and personalities. You could just get consumed by personalities. You could just spend all day trying to figure out everybody's personality. But, I think what you have to do right now is somehow as a coach, I have to find some way to get them to play real hard for each other, for Kentucky. And, I'm struggling with that right now. But you just have to keep moving forward and trying everything, exhausting every possibility, because it's a funny thing about confidence. I can't give you confidence. We have to get that through accomplishment. So, today we need to go out there and work hard on why we're not shooting the ball well, why we're not making layups, why we're missing shots. What can we control? We can control footwork. We can control balance. We can control those kind of things, and giving them opportunity to work on it. And then, they make a few shots. We're off and running. Shooting really makes up for a lot of mistakes that you're making. And so we're not shooting the ball well, and so everything gets magnified.
What happens in transition defense to this team this year? They just don't seem to have the same maybe that your previous teams have. Offense and defense really in transition.
Yeah, well, I think one thing that you saw last night was in transition, a lot of times it was because we made a half-hearted effort to go to the boards, and then you're standing around. So you're not going to the boards and you're not getting back. And so, we got burned a couple times on that. And you eliminate some transition opportunities when you're a really good offensive rebounding team. And we're certainly not rebounding, or we didn't last night up to our capabilities, just didn't go to the boards, and that's disappointing. In offensive transition, we've been terrific at times this year, and right now it's just a lack of focus on little bitty things, and then the competition is just running back real hard and doing a good job of getting around the bucket, and we're not making real good decisions there.
Was there anything in last night's game that maybe stuck out to you that you're going to work on specifically today in practice?
Yeah, I think that our timing on offense against a packed zone is something that we can improve on, and post players flashing when they're supposed to be flashing, guards having the patience to wait for the flash, different things like that. That's one big thing we'll work on today.
Was there anything encouraging last night?
Well, you're down 9, and you're able to get it back and have a chance to win the game, and there was some encouragement. I thought Janae Thompson really played hard last night and did a good job, and I was encouraged with the way she played. I think Denisha Stallworth's getting a lot better, and I think she's a lot closer than where she was a week ago. So if she can keep going, I think that'll really help our team.
I think 6 or 7 of your next games are against ranked opponents, pretty sure NCAA teams. Do you worry about the slide happening at a time when you should be kind of building up? And what do you do moving forward to kind of prepare them mentally for those games? I mean, those are big games.
Yeah, I have to try to not worry, because worry gets you into a negative spot. And it is worrisome, and you just have to really be strong as a leader to not get to that spot. I have to just stay focused on Sunday. And I know that's so, it's so boring, and it's so, I wish I could, lay out and just tell you how worried I was and just feel so terrible for myself and feel so sorry about how everything's going terrible for me, and I just feel terrible, and I'm doing an awful job, and, I just want to cry. That would be maybe, fun for everybody to see. But there's no way we can go have a good practice today if I'm in that spot. So I can't worry. Worry is a very negative spot to be in. I have to stay emotionally tough here and look at the facts and don't get real emotional about it and say, hey, these are the things that are going to help us play better on Sunday, and that's where I need to be.
LSU always makes life difficult on you guys scoring. Are they any different this year? Do they look any different on film?
Not much. They look really good.
How much of a challenge is that with a team that has so little confidence on offense right now?
Well, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge, but it's also a great opportunity, And if you can go and get your mind in a right frame and get to the right spot, it's really a great opportunity, because if you can climb this hill and get this done, that you've played well and you've done a good job. And that's what this team needs to do. They just need to play well, do a good job. They know they can do it. They know they're talented enough. So it's really such a fantastic opportunity. It's probably the best thing that can happen, because at some point you're going to have to step out into that spotlight and play and stop worrying about, I'm going to miss this shot, or we're not going to win, or all that thing. And there's no better opponent than LSU, because they will put a lot of stress on us to score. So it's a great opportunity on Sunday.
Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thanks. Thanks.
Oh.